Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video we are going to be doing the start of year book tag. This is something I did last year and I genuinely just really enjoy doing the start of year, mid-year and end of year book tag. It's a good way to set some goals for the year ahead, reflect on the books that I've read so far in the year and then reflect on the entire year as a whole. So we have, how many questions do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 questions in total. And I'm very excited to answer these questions, so let's get into it. Okay, so number one, we have how many books do you plan on reading this year? So my goal for this year is going to be 100 books, and that is mainly because in 2025, I ended up reading 96, as of this point right now, 96 books. It might be more by the time this video goes up. I will put the accurate number here of how many books I actually read in 2025. I'll put the accurate number here of how many books I actually read in 2025. But as of right now, as I'm filming this video, I've read 96 books. So I think I can actually get to 100 next year, because I think I would have already if I hadn't had a couple of reading slumps this year. Because in the month of, I think it was March, I only read one book in that entire month, which isn't very much likely because my average can be anywhere between 4 books to like 14 books. So it really depends on what kind of reading mood I'm in that month. But I've been reading a lot recently and I think getting to 100 books next year is very doable. Number 2, we have a book you're likely to reread in 2026. Honestly, I think I really want to reread the Throne of Glass series, either that or the ACOTAR series, because I really want to buy the hardback editions of those books and I want to highlight and annotate them and just add all of my like little inner thoughts into them. So I definitely probably will want to reread at least one of those series, and probably the either Boys of Tommen or the Windy City series. Those books are all like god tier series to me. They're some of my all-time favorite books. So I really want to reread the Windy City series just because of how much I love it. And also the novella for that series comes out in, I think it's March. Yeah, I think it's March that the novella for that series comes out. So I may reread before the novella comes out, but who knows? Because I have plenty of other books to be reading this year. But you know, yeah, I definitely want to reread one of those series just because they're my like all-time favorite ones, and I definitely want to like highlight and annotate them just because I find it so fun doing stuff like that. Okay, up next, number 3, we have a book on my priority TBR for 2026. That is definitely House of Flame and Shadow by Sarah J Maas. Obviously another Sarah J Maas book, because I am hoping and praying that we get a then my brain started working again. You could see the cogs turning in my brain then, couldn't you? No, I'm really hoping we get book number 6 in the ACOTAR series in 2026. So I definitely want to read House of Flame and Shadow because I think you need to read that one before the new book in the ACOTAR series comes out, because that one has a little bit of a crossover in it. So I'm very excited to read it, and it's one I meant to read this year anyway in 2025. So that's definitely a book at like the top of my priority list for 2026. I have a few others, like I really want to read I think it's the DC Stars series by Chelsea Curto, and I want to read a lot more Frida McFadden books just because I read one of her books in 2025 and I genuinely really enjoyed it, so I want to dip more into like thrillers and stuff. But yeah, I think the one that's definitely at the top of my priority list is House of Flame and Shadow. Okay, up next we have an author you're done with in 2026. Is there any authors I'm done with? Okay, so as you guys know, I really love Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. Like, that's one of my favourite books from 2024. I absolutely adored that book. But since reading that one, I've read 3 others by her and I've just not enjoyed them as much as I did that one. She's not a bad author by any means, but she's not someone who I would consider a favourite as much anymore. So, like, I think I've got one more book by her that I currently own and I'm going to give it a try, but after I've read that one, if I don't enjoy that one as much anymore, I'm probably going to stop picking up her books just because I keep searching for that Out on a Limb feeling that I got from when I read the book and I'm just not getting it and I keep getting a little bit disappointed. So I think if I don't like the last book I have from her, which I think is called People Watching, I'm just going to not pick up any more Hannah Bonham Young books. Just because I don't want to keep getting excited when a book comes out and then it doesn't give me that same 5-star feeling that Out on a Limb did. Okay, next question is something new you want to read in 2026. Okay, so something new I want to read is I want to get into more fantasy in 2026. So I really want to read the Kingdom of the Wicked series by Kerry Maniscalco, I think it is. Sorry if I've pronounced that wrong, but I'm very bad at pronouncing names. I've always seen this book floating around on like Booktag and everything, and I saw Larry read it in a vlog recently and she seemed to quite enjoy it, and I seem to have very kind of similar taste to Larry sometimes. But it looks quite an interesting book and it sounds pretty interesting. But when like I first joined Booktag, I really wasn't a fantasy reader. I was strictly a romance reader. But over the last couple of years, my taste has quite grown a bit. So I definitely really want to pick up that and I want to give that a go. I definitely want to read more thrillers in 2026 because, like I said, I read The Housemaid this year and I really, really loved it. So I want to read the rest of the Housemaid series by Frida McFadden. And I also have another Frida McFadden book, which is Do Not Disturb, that I want to read. And then I've heard there's some really good other ones like Never Lie and also The Intruder and things like that. So I want to pick up more Frida McFadden books this year to read. And I read a horror book for the first time in 2025. So I want to maybe have a look into picking up more horror books because I actually quite enjoyed it when I read it. But you know, those are the kind of like newer books that I want to get into this year. Okay, up next we have a popular book you want to read in 2026. I'm going to sound like a broken record, but the DC Stars series by Chelsea Curto. I've seen everyone recently talking about like Face Off and the newest one, which I think is called Sin Bin. Everyone seems to really love the DC Stars series and I want to read it so badly just because it sounds absolutely incredible and it just sounds really interesting, and like the little clips I've seen on TikTok of like out of context quotes that people have said that just made me want to read it more. So I think a popular book that I definitely want to read in 2026, it has to be Face Off, just because it sounds really good and the entire series sounds really good. So I'm very, very excited about that one just because I think I'm going to have a really great time. Okay, so up next we have my most anticipated release of 2026. I have a video coming out that where I talk about all my most anticipated releases for the first half of this year, but I think 100% my most anticipated release as of right now is In Her Own League by Liz Tom Ford. This is the novella that basically kind of wraps up the Windy City series. I love the Windy City series, as you guys know, and this book follows Monty and I think her name is Reed or something. I'm not 100% sure, but it follows characters who you meet in book 3 and 4 of the Windy City series. And this novella sounds so interesting. And I listened to a clip from the audiobook on Liz Tom Ford's Instagram, and it just sounded so good. And I cannot wait to read that book. I'm so excited, and I'm really hoping that this is going to be a 5-star novella for me, because I've only ever had one 5-star novella before, and that was Powerful by Lauren Roberts. Look, I tend to have issues with novellas. A lot of the time I don't tend to really enjoy novellas as much. Like, for example, Fearful by Lauren Roberts. I gave that a 1.5 star. That book was not good. But yes, no, I think definitely as of right now, my most anticipated release for the new year has to be In Her Own League by Liz Tom Ford. Up next, we have a book that's been on your TBR forever and you probably won't ever read it. Let me have a look. I don't really think there is any books that are on my TBR that I won't read, because I got rid of a lot of books like a while ago, and that, like, let me reverse it, see which ones have been on my TBR for the longest, because I have a TBR shelf on my Goodreads. Okay, so I have two that I may not read just because I for some reason keep putting them off. We have Beneath the Wildflower by Rosalind Jackson. I bought this because I read some like little out of context quotes on the author's Instagram a while ago. But ever since I bought it, I looked at the reviews on Goodreads, and apparently it's really not that good. And also the edition I have of it is an indie published edition, and it's massive. Like, it's a really thick book. So I keep putting that one off, even though I was really excited when I bought it. So I don't really know about that one. And then we have By the Orchid and the Owl by Mariah Montoya, I think it is. I've had this one for a little while. I got gifted it a little while ago, and I kind of want to read it, but I'm also a bit skeptical about reading it. So I don't really know if like it's one that I'm like urging to pick up. And honestly, if I don't read it this year with both of those books, I may get rid of them. But we'll have to see. They aren't definitely I won't ever read. They are definitely a probably will never read, but I don't really know. Okay, so up next we have a series you want to read this year. I definitely want to read, there's a couple of different series I want to read in 2026. The Undone series by Peyton Corrin is definitely one of them. I've heard a lot of good things about it, and only the first two books are out at the moment. And I know book 3 comes out, I think, in 2026. I can't be 100% sure. It might already be out, and I might be very wrong. But yeah, no, I'm very much excited to read that series. I have it on my shelves and it looks very, very good. So I'm excited to read that one. I also have the Wells Ranch series by Bailey Hannah on my TBR. I bought that very recently and it sounds quite interesting, and I have quite an interest in the first book, and the first book is on my January TBR, so I may be able to get to it, but I'm very much excited for it. It just seems very interesting, and also it's a cowboy romance. I love cowboy romances, so I'm not surprised. I really want to read that one. Yeah, and I don't really think there's any others at the moment that I haven't already mentioned that I really want to read. But yeah, no, that one is definitely, those two are like definitely ones that I really want to try and get to within this year. Okay, up next we have auto by authors going into 2026. So I have obviously my normal ones. We have Liz Tomford, Elle Kennedy. Well, I don't know, Elle Kennedy not so much anymore, just because I've only read one of a book by her that wasn't in her off-campus series, and I didn't really enjoy it that much. But yeah, no, Liz Tomford, Elsie Silver, Chloe Walsh, obviously. Honestly, probably Sarah J. Maas, just because I love her series. And yeah, I just think those ones, as of right now, so like Elsie Silver, Liz Tomford, Chloe Walsh, and Sarah J. Maas, like other authors I am interested in still, like that I still want to read more of them from, but none of them are like auto-buy authors for me as of this moment in time. But they're still authors that I will consider their books for. Like, for example, I started reading Abby Jimenez really recently, and I've really enjoyed the 2 books that I've read by her, but I want to read more of her books before I consider her an auto-buy author. Okay, so a book to show or movie adaptation that you're excited for. I'm definitely excited for the TV show adaptation of the Off-Campus series. I'm a little skeptical just because some of the casting I'm not 100% sold on. The person they chose to play Allie, I have nothing against her, and I think she's like good for the character, but they haven't dyed her hair blonde, which I know sounds like such a small thing, but Allie being blonde is a big part of her character in the whole off-campus universe. So not dyeing her hair blonde kind of feels like they're not sticking very true to the story. And then the person who they cast as Tucker, he doesn't really fit the description of how Tucker is described in the books. So yeah, I'm not really like, I'm just a little bit skeptical, but I am still excited for the adaptation because I love the off-campus series. I'm also really looking forward to the movie adaptation of The Bodyguard by Catherine Center. One, because I really enjoyed The Bodyguard. I thought it was a really good book and I genuinely really enjoyed it. But also because I love who they've cast as the main characters. The main characters are being played by Jared Padalecki and Leighton Meester, and they're two actors who I really love. So I'm very excited for the adaptation of The Bodyguard. I don't really think there's any others that I'm that excited about. I know like Heated Rivalry, which is a show I've been obsessed with at the moment, is getting a season 2. And season 2 is going to be the adaptation of the last book in the Game Changer series, which I am currently reading at the moment, but I'm not 100% like sure when that's coming out, and I don't think that's coming out in 2026. So but yeah, no, I'm very excited. Up next, we have a sequel I'm excited for in 2026. Okay, this one isn't a guaranteed sequel to coming out in 2026, but I'm hoping it is. I'm really excited for the sequel for Whom the Bell Tolls by J.C. Lynn. I absolutely adore that book, as you guys have heard me say 1,000,001 times on this channel so far. And I'm really hoping that book 2 comes out in 2026. I think there's a high possibility because I follow the author on Instagram and TikTok, and from what I can see, she has already submitted her first draft of the book to her publisher. So fingers crossed, hopefully we get it towards the end of 2026, but I'm not 100% sure if we're going to or not. But apart from that, I don't really know. Oh wait, yes, I do know another one. Take a Hike by Maggie Grant. That is the sequel to Fix Them Up, which is her Everly Heath series. The Fix Them Up is the first book she ever published, but it was originally called The Reno, but it got trad published and changed to Fix Them Up, and Take a Hike is book 2, and I'm very, very excited about it because I think it's going to be a very, very good book. So those two are two sequels that I'm definitely looking forward to. One is confirmed for 2026, one is not. Okay, so we've got 3 more questions left. Okay, up next we have bookish things I'm leaving behind in 2025. Now, I don't really have many things that I want to leave behind because I've left a lot of the things that I did want to leave behind in 2024. I think one of them that I want to take forward into 2026 is, this is more of a personal one for me, but I want to leave letting other people's opinions of books sway my opinion about a book. Like, sometimes when I have a friend who really loves a book, like sometimes if I don't love it as much as they love it, I feel like, oh my God, like, am I wrong about this? This is just a personal thing because I'm, you know, stupid. But you know, there's like, sometimes I will be like, oh my God, I feel like I need to give this book a 5-star, and I've stopped doing that as much recently. And now if I genuinely don't love a book as much as someone else does, I won't change my rating just because their rating is high. But I used to do that a lot of the time. That's something I want to stick to doing as I go forward into 2026. I want to make sure that I leave behind putting books as a higher rating just because other people have rated it that high, and that is something that I've definitely stopped doing as much over the last year, but it's something I want to make sure I continue in. But apart from that, I don't really have any bookish things that I want to leave in 2025. Like, there's things that I want other people to leave behind in 2025, like people saying that listening to audiobooks isn't reading, because it is reading. Listening to audiobooks is still reading. You're still reading the book. Just because you're listening to it doesn't mean you aren't consuming the content. But yeah, no, that's something that I already said anyway, like last year. So yeah, just people just need to stop being judgmental. That's about it. Okay, up next we have, how have your reading tastes evolved in the past couple of years? Now, I would say that my reading tastes have very much evolved a lot in the last couple of years, because I was strictly a romance reader a couple of years ago. Like, it was very hard for me to read any book that wasn't a romance book, and that is why I didn't really read as much, because I was only reading romance books and I was getting bored rather easily. But now I read so many different genres. I read fantasy now, I read romance still, obviously. I've started dipping my toes into thriller books, which I've been really enjoying. I read a horror book in 2025 that I really, really enjoyed. And I think I'm just a lot more sure of my tastes now. Like, I would just read what was popular. Now, a lot of the time, I just go with books that I know are my taste and are my style, and ones that I know I will enjoy. Like, I know I really love romantasy books. I really love cowboy romances. I love a good sports romance. I love a book that'll make me cry. I love books that have tropes like found family and like the one bed trope and enemies to lovers and things like that. So I think now I'm a lot more sure of my tastes, and I'm a lot more comfortable exploring new genres. And like, there's other genres I want to look into more. Like, I want to read more like dystopian, and I definitely want to delve more into horror, because I've only read one horror book, but the one horror book I did read, I really, really enjoyed. So I think I definitely know my tastes a lot better now. And also, like, I think that I know what kind of things I enjoy reading and what things I don't enjoy reading. So I'm not going to just do what I used to do and just buy books because they're popular on Booktag and Booktube. I'm just going to buy books that I want to buy. Okay, and then the final question that I have on this list is booktube creators who inspire you. So I only really follow 3 booktube creators now. I unsubscribed from a lot of the ones I was subscribed to just because I didn't really connect with their content anymore. Nothing against those booktubers, I just don't really watch them as much as I used to. But the 3 who I really love their channels and I watch them a lot and they really inspire my videos definitely have to be Larry, of course. I love Larry's videos. They're such like a comfort. They're kind of like a warm hug when you're watching them, just because she's so funny and carefree, and she's so honest about a lot of things in her life, especially to do with her mental health, which I find very refreshing. So I really, really enjoy watching her stuff. We have Ella Rose Reads, or I think she's changed her name to KB now, I think it is. And I've been watching her for a while. She took a break from posting on YouTube earlier this year, and she's just gotten back into it now, and I really enjoy her content. She's very relaxing to watch. She's a very fun little creator to watch, and I really enjoy her videos. And she's also started a new series on TikTok, which is Life 2.0, where she's kind of doing a lot more things for herself, which I've really, really enjoyed. But I mainly got into her from watching her booktube content, and I absolutely just love it, and I love her videos, and she does inspire some of my videos. And also the last one is Just Ellie. I don't watch her as much as I watch the other 2, but I still really enjoy her videos. She's very sweet and sunshiny, and when I need like just a sweet sunshiny person to watch, she is someone who I go to watch quite a lot, and I really enjoy her videos, and they give me inspiration for my videos as well. So yeah, I think those are the 3 booktubers who definitely inspire me the most, and I really enjoy their content. I just don't really watch anyone else now. When it comes to YouTube, my favorite YouTubers are like Dan and Phil, and they are definitely not BookTok creators. Not BookTok booktube creators, but no. So there's only like 3 booktube people I watch, but they are definitely the ones who inspire me the most, and I absolutely love their content, and they just kind of inspire my videos a little bit. They help inspire me to come up with ideas, and like I use some of the ideas that I've seen them do. But yeah. That is the final question for this beginning of the year book tag. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and let me know if you want to answer any of these questions. I'll put all the questions in the description, and you can also just if you want to answer them as you're watching the video, go ahead and answer them in the comments, because I'd love to know what you guys think as well. What are some of your anticipated releases for this year? Some things, like bookish things you want to leave behind in 2025? Just anything like that. Any of the questions you want to answer, drop them in the comments below, and I will reply to them any comments that I can. But yeah, that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please like, comment and subscribe, and hit the little notification bell below so you know when I upload. I upload every Wednesday at 5 o'clock with a video like this, and every Saturday at 4 o'clock with a reading vlog. But that's it for today. I will catch you guys next time.